When I think about setting boundaries and the holidays, I think about Cousin Eddie showing up in his RV, unannounced, uninvited, and taking over the holidays. Welcome to your second session of Meditation Monday. I'm Shawn Hanlovich, your Central Region recruiter and your mindfulness guide. Today we're going to talk about setting boundaries. So what are boundaries? Well, a lot of times people misunderstand boundaries as a way to keep people out, to keep you from being hurt, right? But boundaries really there to help people figure out how to approach you, how to get in. Boundaries are there to improve relationships. This is a way to avoid misunderstandings, miscommunication, and ultimately resentment. Boundaries are the ultimate way that we take care of ourselves and that we show self-respect. And by respecting somebody else's boundaries, it's a true way to show them respect. Setting boundaries is acknowledging the limitations of our time, our finances, our resources, and our priorities. If we can manage these boundaries, then we can avoid burnout and being overwhelmed. And we can truly be present to enjoy things, to enjoy the holidays. So setting boundaries means knowing what those boundaries are in advance. For me, as example, not using your cell phones while we are together for the holidays. Nothing drives me crazier than when I'm sitting there visiting with my brother and he's got his cell phone in his hand the whole time. So setting a good boundary would be all cell phones are put here on the entryway table as everybody comes in. And if anybody's caught on their phone, then they're the ones that have to do dishes. It doesn't have to be mean or malicious, right? I can just set the boundaries and be very clear about it. And because I've set it ahead of time, nobody can be surprised when I have asked them to put their phone away. It also keeps me from being in a position where I'm trying to talk to my brother, he's on his phone and I'm getting upset with him. Makes it a lot easier from the beginning. I want to clearly communicate those things, right? Whatever those expectations are, boundaries are. I want to make sure that other people know what they are. This also avoids any miscommunication. I want to make sure that you have a vision of what the ideal holiday looks like for you. If you have that ideal vision of what it looks like, timing, resources, people, then you can clearly say this is what the expectation is going to be and set those boundaries accordingly. You can set boundaries around traveling. You can set boundaries around how long you're going to stay at somebody's house. How many houses are you going to go visit? Setting these boundaries means also setting consequences. So as I mentioned in my cell phone example, you have to do dishes if you do pick up your phone. But setting those consequences for yourself too. So finding an accountability person, your spouse, a sister, sibling, neighbor, friend, somebody that you can say, this I'm not going to do. And can you just kind of support me in that? When we say yes to things that we don't want to do, that is where resentment really starts from. That's where we can get super anxious about it. And that's where we perform or behave outside of who we really are. So saying no is okay. Saying no is just as fine as saying yes. It's an option, right? Yes or no. And no is okay. We feel like saying no is being disrespectful because as a young age, we thought it was polite. We were taught that it was polite to say yes, or it was rude to say no. And sometimes people felt like no was really negative, but it's really not. It's just an option. We want to say no in times when we know we're going to be uncomfortable or we feel uncomfortable about it. We need to say no when we feel overwhelmed or overloaded. We need to say no when boundaries are being crossed, when we're crossing our own or when someone else is crossing our boundaries. And we want to say no when we feel the need to say yes to please somebody else. That's where resentment will come from as well. Like I said, no is going to help prevent burnout. It's going to prevent resentment. and it's going to improve your relationships. No is 2 letters, so it can be brief. No should be straightforward. And no should be unapologetic. So there are different ways that we can say no. First of all, we can practice saying no. Practice saying no in easier situations, maybe at the grocery store, maybe just in passing with someone. Practice saying no. Becoming very aware of when you are saying yes and choosing not to say no. A lot of times, these are the things that we experience or notice afterwards, right? I should have, could have, wished I had said no. Reflect on those, learn from those, and practice saying no. You can also say no in creative ways. My friends call, they want to go out. I don't want to go out. I want to lay on the couch. I want to just binge watch TV. I will politely tell my friends, that sounds like fun, but I already have other plans. They don't need to know what my plans are. That is just laying on the couch and watching TV. We can also say no, that I already have another commitment. No, I really don't have the bandwidth right now. I can't make that commitment to you because I don't want to disappoint you. I'm thankful that you thought of me. However, I'm just not able to at this time. It doesn't fit in my schedule. No, thank you, but it sounds lovely. Saying no doesn't mean that we're a terrible person. Saying no means that we're a respectful person. So let's practice saying no. We're going to apply that in our meditation today. We're going to take just a couple minutes to get nice and relaxed. And we're going to, as you're preparing here, first of all, again, we don't want to be driving and doing meditations. We want to have a quiet place where we can be uninterrupted for a few moments. No distractions, cell phones, things of that nature. And so as we're getting settled in, I encourage you to think of an upcoming event, an upcoming situation that you can anticipate going in a particular direction. Thinking about the holidays, thinking about different people, places, things that you can anticipate that are going to come up that you don't want to do, or you don't want to respond in a particular way. Something that you want to do better. You want a better outcome, right? This can be at work too, but think about that. And as you're thinking about that anticipated event, how would you like it to end instead of the way it ended before? How would you like it to end where you're not feeling resentful? You're not feeling taken advantage of? Maybe I'm just thinking of this. For me, a boundary would be setting limits to how much I'm going to spend on Christmas for people, right? And I can anticipate that I may want to overspend. But if I am thinking on a better outcome, it would be really knowing and having a boundary about how much I'm going to spend for each kid and sticking to that boundary. So something along those lines for you. And on the other side of that, feeling really confident, feeling really good, and not feeling financially overwhelmed. What is it you don't want to feel overwhelmed around on the next, when you come around at this time? So getting comfortable, feet flat on the ground, sitting up, hands on your lap, and closing down your eyes. I invite you to join me. We're going to start with one of those box breaths as we did last time. So that's going to be inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. Getting comfortable again here. And on your next inhale, inhale now for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 3, 2, 1. Release 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. And let go. And just breathe. Relaxing your lips. Dropping your jaw. Relaxing your shoulders. Relaxing your hips. relaxing your feet, and just breathe. Noticing that breath as it hits the tip of your nose. Following that breath using your imagination as the breath goes down into your lungs, down into your abdomen. Then imagining that breath coming back through, over your tongue, over your teeth, and through your lips. Following that breath in and following the breath out. And relax. We want to take our attention, and again, our attention, that movable object. Picking up your attention, I want you to bring your attention to the inside of your eyelids and just notice what is there at this moment. It is what it is. Hold your focus and just breathe and relax. We're being present in the moment, just relaxed. Picking up our attention, we're going to move our attention to the sounds. It is what it is at this moment, the sound in the room. It's not right, it's not wrong. Hold your focus to the sounds that you hear while you breathe and relax. And then pick up your attention again, and we're going to move it to the sense of smell. We're just getting present in this very moment, noticing the smells in the room. If you notice nothing at all, that's quite all right. Just holding your focus on the sense of smell as you breathe and relax in this moment. And picking up our attention again, we're going to move to the inside of our mouth, and we're going to notice the taste inside of our mouth. It is what it is at this moment, being present, not ruminating about where it came from. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is as you breathe and relax. And let's pick up our attention one more time, and we're moving it to the sense of touch. So again, noticing the sensation on your skin. Maybe your fingers rubbing together, maybe the temperature on your skin. It is what it is at this moment, and just relax. Let all of that tension go. Feeling grateful and relaxed. Now, as we sit here and as our mind does what the mind does, we're going to guide our thoughts, imagining that upcoming event that we talked about. Imagining your most ideal self, a respectful self, a confident self, a loving, kind, and generous self. In this situation, practice saying no. Practice feeling those boundaries. Imagine no thank you being all you have to say. Imagine saying it with a smile and moving on. Imagine having a respectful response. And in some situations would be no response at all. Imagine the end of the event, the other side of the event, that it's over, it's past. And that story, that reoccurring pattern of being taken advantage of being resentful, it's not there anymore, it's broken. There's this expectation even in our imagination, that it's going to be perfect. But let's be gracious and let's be kind to ourselves, that even if it's not perfect, because you know now what you didn't know then, you are better at it. And just like meditation, being human takes practice. And the more we practice, the better we get. And that includes saying no. I'm going to let you sit for just another moment, allowing your thoughts come, and then coming back to your breath and being present. Visualizing that ideal self. And just relax. Back to your breath. Using your imagination as you breathe deeply. That ideal version of yourself, that future version of yourself, in that future situation, confident and grateful. And that you can come back to this at any time and practice this as you get closer and closer to the event or situation. Just taking a moment to practice the ideal outcome. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to have you open your eyes. But let's start by just kind of closing with one of those box breaths again. So maybe wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle your toes. And on your next inhale, inhale now for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 3, 2, 1. Release 2, 3, 4. And hold 3, 2, 1. Come back to your breath. Relax. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. The practice of saying no, the practice of setting boundaries, and the practice of meditation. One thing I know for sure, humaning is hard, but it doesn't have to be difficult. It takes practice, and we can all do it. The holidays are meant to be enjoyed, and we can all do that as well. I hope you had a good experience today. And next time, we're going to talk about stress and managing stress through organization and preparation, and how to make that easier for you and the holidays as well. Thanks much.